A lot of people have been DMing me, asking me, Mike, hey, what is the strategy and how you trade that allows you to become profitable? Very simple. I'm going to give you basically a complete guide today that's going to help you when it comes to trading supply and demand, or a lot of you like to call it order block trading. Okay, so this is a good strategy that works day in, day out. It's very simple. It's nothing complex about it. The thing and the most important part to this all, which ties everything together, is understanding market structure. I cannot explain how important that one term or concept it is, because why? You need to understand the overall direction in which you are trading. I always start, again, I'm going to say that. Whatever you are trading, I don't care if you're trading Forex, I don't care if you're trading options, I don't care if you're trading crypto, I don't care if you're trading the future markets like myself, you need to start with the higher chart. Whether it's time charts, range charts, whatever it is, use a higher chart so you can understand and depict the directional flow of the market. Which way is the market trending? Because it can only trend in two directions, up or down, okay? Bullish or bearish. Either that or the market's just ranging. And we don't want to be caught in ranges, right? So today I'm going to share with you something that's very simplistic. It works day in and day out, and it may help you become profitable if you are struggling, yes, struggling in your own personal trading. I'm talking about futures. Now, order blocks are just the same. As I said, they're interchangeable. The term, as you would say, supply and demand zones. We're looking for the aggressive buying and selling within a particular market. Today I have up, for example, the NASDAQ. I have been trading the NASDAQ in 2025 pretty much, I would say 90% of the time. It is a very good market to trade if you're used to volatility, because it is pretty volatile. But I like the volatility because it provides a multitude of opportunities. Now, let's take a look at what I mean about structure. Listen, if you go back to the latter part of November, we can see that we were just bullish to the upside. What does that mean or entail? Just constantly up, down, lower, high, okay? Excuse me, a higher low, breaking structure each time that we move higher. So we're making higher lows and higher highs as we continue to flow to the upside in a bullish trend, okay? At some point, you must understand the market is going to shift and we are going to move from bullish to bearish. That is structure, okay? So simplifying things is very important. All you need to do, again, use a higher chart to start with to figure out which way is the market directionally moving. If we're bullish to the upside, we should only be looking for demand setups, okay? If we're bearish to the downside, which I'm going to share here with you in a moment, we should only be looking for supply setups. That means I'm marking up my charts to start with in accordance with the ultimate trend of the market. Now, if the market starts to form from a bullish to a bearish standpoint, so we had highs resting right here, low, lower high. This is the first lower high. Low, lower high, breaking structure as we move lower, okay? More lows, lower highs, lows, lower highs. The market's moving lower. We have to understand what it is doing. If the market shifts and we start to take our structure going lower, then we should only be looking for opportunities to go short at supply setups. Now, I mark up and I always start with, once I have identified the directional flow of the market, my order blocks, okay, when it comes to this strategy, off of the higher base chart to start with. Why? Because the higher charts are trump. They trump everything. They are the king to the directional movement of the market. They give you the roadmap as far as the directional direction in which you should actually be taking trades, guys, okay? So we went from bullish to bearish, breaking structure lower. All right. Once we see that, then this is where we start to identify and look for those supply order blocks or supply zones. Okay. Same thing. Okay. Now we're starting to break structure lower as we move to the downside below this low, and a pullback, lower high, this low, lower high, lower lows, moving to the downside, okay? So you should be looking for opportunities to take trades going lower or marking up, key areas of supply, all right? So let's take a look, like in between today and yesterday's trading session. Now we're bullish overall on the higher chart. So figure out your, the path of which the market is actually moving. So if it's channeling to the downside and it's trending, even though we've got a nice pullback here and it's got a channel back to the upside where we're breaking structure higher, this is just a bullish short-term channel back to the upside. The ultimate channel or longer-term direction is to the downside. And the best type setups to wait for and zones to mark up when it comes to order blocks are going to be supply areas where the market breaks a major high or low. In this case, because we're trending to the downside, we want to see a major low being taken out. Now, I'm not saying you can't take, minor areas of structure or zones or order blocks at minor structure point breaks, but the major areas where the market creates breaks through a major low are going to be some of the best trades to take, because they're going to carry the highest probability, which are going to increase your chances of having a higher win rate at that particular order block zone. Okay, so when we look at, say, for example, this low that the market made yesterday during the overnight session, on 15th going into the 16th, okay? Right here, this low it made, we have these higher highs and higher low situations. But overall, we're bullish as we were moving to the downside right here. The trend is bullish. I'm sorry. The trend is bearish, but we're bullish here on a short-term directional shift back to the upside. So this becomes a major low. Higher highs, higher lows. Coming off of this major low, I would definitely be looking for this to be broken right here. This major low to be broken. And as you can see, in today's trading session, the 17th, sometimes you got to wait through. And I say this, you're not going to get a lot of major structure point breaks on a higher chart within one trading session day. You may get a few a week, and that is fine, because really you're only looking possibly to take 2, 3, maybe 4 setups a week. Okay. And if you limit the number of trades you take during the week, you'll find yourself taking more high quality setups. There may be 1 or 2 days that you don't take any trades, but taking 2 to 3 quality trades a week will put you in the direction of taking some very solid trades. Imagine this. Look, the market broke this major low right here, right? After pulling back, making a short-term bullish directional shift to the upside. I noticed the major low. We haven't made a full-on shift back to the upside where we have a bullish, trend starting, or the market's reversing and starting to move higher, because we had to take out a major high. Guess what? The market takes out this major low on the way back down, roughly about 10:50 to 10:55. I marked this up right here on my chart. And as you can see, the market does come back to the zone, but it doesn't fill the gap right there. But still, that is a structural break right here where it took out a major low. Boom, took the low out below here. Pulls back, taps the zone, but it didn't feel the actual imbalance resting on the inside of the zone. It tapped right back at the zone. It filled that fair value gap there, came back to the order block right there at the zone, but it didn't feel the imbalance or fair value gap inside the zone. In that case there, I stayed out of the trade. Some of you may have taken that trade, and that's fine if you chose to trade when it tapped back at the actual zone, but it still did not feel the imbalance resting on this candle right here back on the inside of the zone. But there were other opportunities that formed after that, because now we're still moving bearish, okay? The market comes down. It breaks structure below these lows right here, and then it pulled back to another supply zone right there. This is where I would mark up my zones, always starting and identifying the direction of movement first. Then I mark up either my order block zone, which is either going to be a supply or demand zone, okay? Back at the actual zone, there must be a there must be an imbalance or gap attached to the actual zone or order block, okay? This case here, the market retraces back. You have aggressive selling, breaks below area structure, pulls back to this key area of what? Okay, of supply right there. We have a breaker structure, an imbalance that makes the trade setup or zone high probability, the order block zone. It pulls back to it. From there, what I'm going to do is move down to a lower chart. Whatever you choose preference-wise, and depending on the chart styles or the charts you trade. You trade time-based charts. I see a lot of people trading 60 minutes and then using a 5-minute lower entry chart. For me, I'm using a 120 range chart and a 24 range chart for my entry. So I would move down to my 24 range chart. I would look for a supply setup that is forming once the market taps and pulls back up to the order block zone, fills the imbalance in the zone, I would then look for a supply opportunity in which the market starts to show bearish direction where it creates a supply zone for me to take a short, aiming for this low to be taken out. So if I get into the trade somewhere around 25,075, I'm going to be looking for the market to come down and take out 25,009, 25,010. I might not capture all that because a lot of times you see me, I say, hey, I'm only interested in maybe capturing 20, 25 points. I'm done for today because I'm not spending loads of time in the market. Like when I get into a trade, I'm typically out in less than maybe 5-10 minutes max, make my points, move on to the next day. Most times I'm taking 1 to 2 solid trades a day, scalping, and that's going to get it. Once I hit my 20, 25 points, I'm done for the day. I just do it again the next day. Repetition is, if you hear people say that repetition cycles help you, get ahead. Yes, they do. You are basically conditioning yourself to be able to strive longer or to be able to last longer or take more, in this case here, better quality setups. I'm living again to see the next day. I don't need to stay in the trade 2 and 3 hours. That gets exhausting. For me, 5 or 10 minutes, boom, I'm out. I can go into the next trade and do it all over again the very next day. Simply put, that helps keep the win rate higher and that keeps you out of the red. Okay. It helps cut the losses and keep you out from losing as many trades. Where I see people failing at is where they start to take too many trades and they start to take 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 trades a day. Don't do that. Okay. Most time people fall victim to that because they're starting to overtrade because of chasing the revenge of losing money. Stop doing that. Look for quality setups. And if you see here, this setup nicely, supply, and then there was another setup to where you got a low right here. See, low, lower high, low situation here. Pulls back. We get another low right here that's created. Coming to the downside. It pulls back. As you can see, let me remove this right quick. Did it fill the gap right there? It filled it right here. Okay. We got another lower high situation. Right here it pulls back to another supply zone. Mark it up on your higher chart. Scale down. Move down to your lower base chart. Then follow suit where you can identify once it taps into the higher base supply zone here. Look on the lower base chart and find a supply setup to go short with the directional flow from here. Pull back to supply to go short just as well. That's all you need to do. This is a very simplistic strategy. Nothing complex about it. We are simply looking for those order block zones, or a lot of people like to call them supply and demand like I do. That's all we're doing day in and day out. Okay. So this is a very short course of sharing with you how you can become profitable using a higher chart, marking up the higher chart, and then just looking for an opportunity to take a entry off of a lower base chart. That's all it is. Multi-chart confluence, higher base, lower base, boom, get into the trade. As long as you're bearish and you got a supply set up, look for bearish opportunity, short opportunity on your lower base chart and mark a supply zone there. Okay, and then go short. That's all we're looking to do, following in the direction of what's going on our higher base charts. All right, I talk about this strategy day in and day out across the channel, but I go into great detail about it to all those who are part of the elite and the ultra elite supporter or membership program. Okay, how can you become a member? People are always reaching out to me asking. There is a link down in the description portion of this video. It is titled Elite or Ultra Elite Supporter or Member. Click on that link. Okay, very inexpensive. That's where I go over the blueprint to how I trade, the cornerstone surrounding these very, this very quality strategy that works and has helped so many people out. If you don't believe me, come over and join us on the Discord. There's a testimonial section there. People are passing evaluations and their challenges just using prop firms. I don't trade prop firms, but I'm just telling you, you can do and use the same strategy trading prop firms as well, or trade with your own capital like myself. Again, what I do and what I share within that private community are my trade breakdowns. Okay, I'm either posting a trade breakdown video or I'm posting my live recorded trading sessions. But that's where I go into detail about the trade setups, breaking down these setups so that you can grasp a bearing and basis on these setups as in reference to market structure, price action, where to place your stop loss, where to place your profit target areas. So when you're back testing and forward testing this stuff yourself to see if it's going to work for you, yes, because I can't guarantee anything to everyone, because guess what? There's no guarantee in life as far as even in a specific strategy, because everybody is going to try something different to try to, complex things. Just keep it simple. If you keep the strategy simple, it will work. Trust me when I say that, all right? But I do know that some people are just more irrational when it comes to trading. They don't follow and adhere to the rules of what I talk about, like right here in this video. If you watch the video content for those that are elite and ultra elite supporters and take quality notes in time as you are back testing and forward testing and walking yourself through each setup that I've shared with you, you're to slowly start to gain some bearing or could possibly on a faster pace, either or. Start to gain some bearing on how things can come together for you and yourself using this very simple strategy. I go over tons of trade breakdowns, tons of them, okay, so you can see, all right, because I believe in visual learning and helping people when it comes to these breakdowns slowly, and that's what wins the race, right? Showing people something that actually works and allowing them to put it to the test. Now, also receive my video playlist and a great videos that I did surrounding market structure. That is king. Okay, very important concept. Now you receive all that if you become an elite supporter of the channel, only for $6.99 a month. That's it. It's 24 cents on the day. Now, if you choose to become an ultra elite supporter, you receive everything I just mentioned plus my live recorded trading session videos. Okay, which is $14.99. You're getting a great value. Very much a lot of value for just pennies on the dollar. That's it. I'm not here to charge people thousands of dollars for something or a system. I don't have a trading course or a mentorship program. I'm just supplying you the basic necessity tools that help you and you just support the channel as a whole. All right. I appreciate you taking the time to watch today's video, and I hope this information within the video you find valuable and it helps you out. If you have not taken the time to subscribe, please do so by clicking that sub button right now. Make sure to click that bell to turn the post notifications on. And last but not least, if you found value, please drop me a like here on this video here and across the videos on the channel as well, the more that you watch. Okay, I greatly appreciate you taking the time and watching today's video, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.